If Hillary Clinton had been president in from 2009 to 2017, or from 2017 until now, what would have happened? Well, if Hillary Clinton had won the Democratic primary in 2008 and been the nominee, she would have defeated John McCain because John McCain was a horrible candidate, and also George W. Bush was doing so horribly, and John McCain was very closely associated with George W. Bush, having supported all of his policies minus the torture, except the torture part. So John McCain was going to lose that election anyway, and so Hillary Clinton would have won. Now, Hillary Clinton would have governed very similarly to Barack Obama, except in two areas. She would have been far more diplomatic with North Korea and had some negotiations and diplomacy and really tried to sit down with them and work things out. And she, in real life, as Secretary of State, she did a great job by helping, by having North Korea free American hostages and doing sort of a little sit down with them by having Bill Clinton go to North Korea and take a picture with Chairman Kim and doing that kind of diplomacy. So she would have continued doing that kind of stuff, and I highly doubt that she would have started slapping North Korea with ridiculous aggressive sanctions like Barack Obama did, and I highly doubt that she would have severely escalated the military exercises to agitate North Korea. Although she probably would have done it to agitate Russia and China, but that's another story. But the point is, Hillary would have been diplomatic on North Korea, whereas Barack Obama was just horrendously aggressive, so that would have been different. And secondly, Barack Obama, of course, is the first Democrat to make the Democrats move away from universal health care, in that even neoliberals like Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton supported universal health care, but Barack Obama got in and he supported the individual mandate system, giving more power to the private health insurance companies and letting them run the show, and taking the Republican position, the Richard Nixon's position, Newt Gingrich's position, and Mitt Romney's position, and Chuck Grassley's position on healthcare, and just totally abandoning universal healthcare. That's what Barack Obama did. But Hillary Clinton, even though she sold out and abandoned universal healthcare later, during Barack Obama's presidency, when she sold out to the health insurance industry, she did support universal healthcare up until 2008. So if she had been the nominee, she would have probably just stayed supporting that, although she could have sold out later, who knows. But I think becoming president, she would have had this like pride ego thing where she knows she failed to get universal health care as first lady, so she would have just wanted to do it as president just to make a name for herself. And maybe that self-motivational, selfish instinct might have pushed her to do the right thing, and maybe she would have gotten universal health care. Maybe she would have fought for it and actually gotten it, so who knows. So maybe there will be universal health care, more diplomacy with North Korea in a Hillary Clinton presidency from 2009 to 2017. Although it's hard to say, but otherwise she would have been exactly the same as Barack Obama. So Hillary Clinton would have been horrible, and she would have done the Wall Street bailout, as well as the drone war, as well as the Libya thing, and as well as the horrible policies, and she would have governed like a total Republican on the actual policies. Now, if 2016 Hillary Clinton had won the election and Donald Trump had been defeated, well, first of all, I'm sure Donald Trump would cry about losing the election, but it really wouldn't matter because he'd be wrong. And Hillary would have governed very similarly to Barack Obama. And in this scenario, a 2016 Hillary has already sold out to the health insurance companies, and she does not support universal health care anymore. So she would just continue with Obamacare and not do universal health care because she would have sold out at that point. And she would just continue the drone war, as well as continue all the horrible foreign policies and domestic policies, and just be a corporate hack. However, Hillary Clinton would actually be very good on North Korea, and I think Hillary Clinton's policy on North Korea would be similar to Donald Trump's policy on North Korea, except maybe slightly better, because remember, Donald Trump, he was at first very horrible in North Korea and was threatening war, but afterwards, after President Moon Jae-in of South Korea sat down with Donald Trump and really worked his magic and persuaded Donald Trump to negotiate with North Korea, and Donald Trump had the summits with North Korea, which was good, and Donald Trump stopped the military exercises that were agitating North Korea, so that was good too. But of course, that's the furthest Donald Trump went, because Donald Trump was just busy listening to John Bolton and doing whatever John Bolton was telling him, and John Bolton wanted to sabotage the negotiations because John Bolton is hawkish on North Korea, so that's why the negotiations fell apart. And of course, Trump is a buffoon, so he just, when he tries to do something good, he just can't do it. That's the point. But Hillary Clinton, she would have had diplomacy with North Korea. She would have sat down with them and had the negotiations as well. And would Hillary Clinton have directly met with Kim? It's very with Chairman Kim. It's very possible. And having President Moon Jae-in doing the negotiations as well would be very helpful. And I think Moon Jae-in would be able to persuade Hillary Clinton into doing a lot of good things on North Korea as well. So she might have lifted some sanctions and she might have done other things. Because Hillary Clinton is actually very diplomatic on North Korea, whereas Barack Obama is totally hawkish and terrible. So I think having Hillary Clinton from 2017 until now, or 2021, that would have yielded some similar results as the Barack Obama and Donald Trump presidency, except for the fact that her North Korea policy would actually be more coherent and better. Now, none of this is to credit Hillary Clinton and give her credit for anything, because she is ultimately a horrible, horrible, horrible neoliberal corporatist. But the point is, this is just me looking at things holistically from a policy perspective and looking at individual policies and pointing out the nuances and maybe discrepancies that I can see between these corporate hacks, because they are not all the same. They're mostly the same, not all the same. Now, would Hillary Clinton have won a second term in 2020? Quite possibly. I think she would have taken COVID more seriously and handled it better. I don't know how well she would have handled it, but handled it possibly better and maybe tried to do something about it. So therefore, she might have won re-election in 2020 and maybe she'd be president right now. So who knows? But anyway, Hillary Clinton, horrible neoliberal corporate hack who is actually diplomatic on North Korea, which is good, but otherwise she is horrible. And at one point she supported universal health care, but of course she abandoned that position and sold out to the health insurance company. So there we have it. If Hillary Clinton had been president.